Hey there, Jed Coburnus here from JedCoburnus.com, and this is Talk Therapy, where I essentially just talk out loud and don't worry about what I'm saying and have no clue. I mean, a lot of this is not premeditated. I just hit record and start talking for 10 to 20, maybe 30 minutes tops, and this is really for me, not for anyone else. But it might be for you. Who knows? So the first 10 minutes is me versus my ego. The second 10 minutes is me with my ego. And third 10 minutes is just me. And sometimes I go the full 30 minutes and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just don't feel like I need to. And yeah. So here we go. Whenever I go or I think that's a lot of times my own ego going, don't screw up, don't say it, don't do it. And, that's what I do this for, is I basically just kill off that part of my mind, that part of my brain, that it's funny because all of this, it all screws us over. That part of our brain screws us over every time, and we don't even know it. So, we just have to be very aware of it. And really, I have no idea what I'm talking about today. I don't know, and I love that I don't know why I'm compelled to do this every day. I just do. And I feel like there's a bunch of things happening. I feel like there's a bunch of things changing. I feel like there's shifts within myself as well as the world, as well as a lot of different things going on. It doesn't matter if it's Monday or Sunday or Friday or Wednesday. I always just come back to gratitude. Like, the level of gratification that I have just to be able to do anything is massive nowadays. And I didn't always have this gratitude. I didn't always have this feeling of contentment, of like just creating from a place of truth and not knowing and loving the not knowing. And I didn't always have this. Like for example, tonight, I am starting back up the physiology show, and that's what I'm calling it. I took the exercise piece out. Instead of calling it the exercise physiology show, I'm calling it the physiology show. And again, here I'm talking to myself. So I'm talking to myself into doing this because I've been overthinking it all weekend, since I've said, okay, I'm going to start it back up, and then I'm sitting here going, well, what should I do? Should I do this, or should I do this, or should I do this, or should I do this? And I think what it comes down to is I'm going to operate from a level that I only know how to, and that's from my truth. Like, being completely honest is way more valuable than looking up a whole bunch of information and reading it and trying to capture an audience or whatever, and trying to help people. It's basically, I'm going to still do my research and I'm still going to learn new things, but for me to show up and to record or to do whatever, to claim that I know information that I don't, let's put it that way, is wrong. Like, in my book, it is just wrong. That's not okay to do. And for some reason, there are people out there that do think it's okay. Like, I don't fake anything. I don't say anything just for the sake of saying it. If I say it, it's truth. It's truthful. Not truth as in, like, my truth is the only truth, but it's truthful. And I think exposing my vulnerabilities is okay. Like, number one thing I think I'll get across tonight is I don't start with food, right? Like, if I'm going to start with a client, I don't start with food, right? I just don't. Like, you're going to eat what you're going to eat. And I'm almost tempted, and I don't know yet, right? And I love that I don't know, that I'm not even going to start with movement, right? Like, it's just funny because what is the process? What is my process? And I think that's what's going to come out of this physiology show, is it's kind of nuts, because there's, I was looking up yesterday, like, physiology, the word, what does it mean? It's the biological understanding of organisms, right? Of anything. Biology, basically. And then I'm thinking, okay, cool. Well, that has to do with physical part. What about mental? And then I stumbled upon this thing called psychophysiology, or physiological psychology, right? I know, big words, physiological psychology. And that was pretty dang cool. Like, it is basically the study of the mind and body, right? And how it works. And that's kind of what I think I do. Actually, not even think, that's what I do. Like, I study human behavior along with movement. Like, that's pretty dang cool. Like, I didn't even think about what that meant, and I've always done it all my life. Like, I've always been fascinated all my life by human behavior. Just because, of my own, really, is what it comes down to. Like, the 365 project, like that project that I'm working on, is basically one big experiment to see what and how my body reacts to an everyday movement pattern, right? And then how my mind and how my truth, how my center reacts to it too. And I think that's what I do. I'm torn between, because there are two different things apparently. I'm torn between the physiological psychology or the psychophysiologist, right? Psychophysiology. Two different things, because one, the psychophysiology, that one does like the effects after, like studying the effects of the body and the mind, and then not necessarily figuring out why, but just studying the effects of it, right? That's psychophysiology. And then physiological psychology is looking at why, and basically why we respond in a way. Like, why our pupils dilate, and why our heart rate increases, and why we have, a higher arousal rate from, basically after PTSD's kind of set in. And that's the difference. And I'm playing with both, right? Like, I'm playing in both fields. Like, I want to know why, and I want to know the effect. Like, I want to know what happens with that arousal, and I want to know why it happens. It's just fascinating, and I'm just looking at it going, whoa. I had no idea that this is what I was doing. I had no idea that this was going on. Like, it's kind of cool. It's actually really cool. So that, there's so many shifts happening. And, we're within now 30 days of moving. That's a big deal, right? So in the next 30 days, we got to do a lot of work, and that's okay. And I'm past 100 workouts, right? Past 100 workouts on my blog. So I have 100 workouts of the day. That's a big deal. It's a huge deal. And again, here I'm telling myself this stuff. Like, this is me reinforcing the fact that I get a lot done every day. And that's why I think I set up my newsletter the way I do. If anybody's not on my newsletter, if anybody's listening to this at 9 minutes and 26 seconds, hop onto my newsletter, jedcovernance.com/newsletter. I had just redone it, formatted it to put kind of message of the day, question of the day, workout of the day, and the physiology show, the episode. It's all in there. And I just think that's, I do that. I do that every day. Like, I do a daily message every day, and then, I mean, basically, it's not for, and then I put the talk therapy in there every day. It's not for nothing. It's basically just my daily practice of my mental and physical health, my mental and physical well-being. And I think that sometimes, people think that a newsletter is to sell, right? Oh my gosh, you're going to sell stuff. Sure, every now and again there might be sales stuff in there, but it's not for like, hey, I'm going to get your money. It's anything that I suggest is because I've done it. It's because I have tested it and I've tried it. And that's okay for you not to believe me when I say, here, try this. And what fascinates me is when I say, here, buy this, and friends of mine, family of mine, they're just like, no thank you, but they're going to buy something else from someone else. That fascinates me. It doesn't piss me off. It used to. But it fascinates me now, right? A friend or a complete stranger can sell them anything. But as soon as a family member comes by and tries to sell you something, watch out. And I know you've been there before. So you can't even argue about that with me. No way. Like, here, buy this. This is really good. And you're like, no thanks. But somebody else, complete stranger or friend or coworker says, here, buy this. You feel obligated to do it. That is behavior right there. That is a controlled behavior. That is something where you can just do, right? That you can control that behavior. It's amazing. Truly amazing. And every day we get to make those choices. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you act. And I think that's what I bring to the table. Is the choice that you get to do, the choice that you make, the choices that you make every day. That is what affects 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now. Doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 70. You could be 7, right? The choices that you make each and every moment of your life, that affects the long game. And that is what I'm all about, is the long game. If I get to play every day, I win. Even if I lose, I win. And that perspective is very freeing, because it doesn't matter how you got there. It doesn't matter where you're going, what you're doing. What matters is, are you happy? Are you healthy? Are you joyful? And literally, I'm talking to myself. Like, I am literally in this space talking to myself right now. And I'm asking myself these. And it's amazing, because I can say yes to all of them. I can say yes to all of them. Because even on the bad days, even on the days that you're just like, ugh, I don't want to do it, you still do it. No matter what. You find your bare minimum. You find the things that you're going to do, and you don't go to bed until, right? Like, you don't go to bed until. Like, yesterday, I chose not to work on some things because it's Sunday. But I did read, right? I did read and do some research and stuff like that. But that's not work. To me, no way, that's not work. That's personal development. That's working on myself. Like, that's never work. No way. And I think that's what I am. That's who I am. Is I can teach other people to work on themselves. Personal development. You don't have to own a business to be in personal development. Like, the only reason I found personal development is because, I started working with my own stuff. Like, I started working on my own business model, business plan, all this fun stuff. Like, that's what it comes down to, is you started working on yourself. And that's a big deal. Own up to that. And as soon as you start working on yourself, that's where everything can go right. And there's no wrong way. There isn't. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. There's just your way. You get to perceive however life is for you. that's amazing to me, because that's what I'm talking to. That's who I'm talking. I'm talking to myself, where I'm just like, this only makes sense to talk like this. Like, a year from now, everything's going to be completely different. 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Because I made a choice. I made a choice 3 months ago to follow my heart, to follow my truth. So far, it's paying off tenfold. Not in monetary, a little bit in monetary value, but in the fact that when it comes down to following my heart, no matter what my mind says, following my body, feeling good with it, no matter what my mind says, my mind will always, my brain literally, scientifically is proven to screw me over. Like, the brain only wants us to find the path of least resistance. The least amount of energy expended is what the brain wants, and it will find a way to get that. Right? Stop letting your brain screw you over. Start following your heart and your body. Start following the parts of your body that feel good. And I don't mean that in a weird way. It's just following the body. And that's what I'm telling myself. Like, I'm literally, and that's what this is, talk therapy. It's reassuring myself that I can do this. Like, I write in my journal every day, I am Jed Koblenz. The 8 words, right? I am Jed Koblenz. It's I am, I can, I will, and I believe. Hang with me for long enough, you know this. And the cool part is that there are still people who have been on my newsletter. There are people who have been like listening and watching and doing all of this stuff, but they're really not 100% committed to themselves yet. They're not 100% committed at all. They just kind of go, yeah, Jed knows what he's doing. I believe in you, right? But they still don't believe in themselves, and that's a big deal. So, and I don't take any responsibility for them not believing in themselves, because I can give everybody all the tools and all the keys and all of the tips and hints and tricks that they want. As soon as they take responsibility of using those tools, tips, hints, and tricks, that is when they will become empowered to then give those tools, tips, hints, and tricks to everybody else. Because you can't really give anything that you're not using, right? Like if you're saying, oh yeah, this works, do it, and you don't feel any better, and you don't look any better, people's radars are way too good for that nowadays. Way too good. The other piece I think I've been missing this whole time, maybe not missing, but that I forgot about this whole time, was my passion, my love for jump rope. I know it sounds weird. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it hit me yesterday where I know a ton about how to jump rope and essentially the art of jump roping. Like, now I might be professional, but I mean, there's people out there who can do some pretty awesome stuff with a jump rope. Now, I'm not there, right? But I don't need to do tricks with a jump rope. Like, that's not my style. My style is basically endurance and stamina and cardiovascular health and knowing, like, what a good jump rope is, what a good jump rope looks like and feels like, and I forgot about that until yesterday. So a lot of what I'm going to do is going to incorporate a jump rope. Like, I've always thought in my head, oh my gosh, no, I can't incorporate, right there's my ego, watch out, right? Don't say anything dumb. Or I shouldn't incorporate, I've always thought I shouldn't incorporate any, what is it called? I'm missing the word right there. What is the equipment? That's what it is, equipment into my workouts. But I think what a jump rope does for you is it's very inexpensive. Like, we're going to spend money on stuff, and stupid stuff at that. Like, we buy the Thigh Master way back in the day. I'm not saying, I guess it's not stupid, whatever. But I mean, they're just, there's just things we're going to spend our money on, like weight loss shakes and whatever, right? Like the pills that make us burn extra calories, whatever. It's just, that stuff is dumb. That stuff is just a waste of money, I'll tell you that. But for the most part, a jump rope is cheap. A jump rope is versatile. You can take it anywhere. If you want to get serious with jump ropes, there are definitely good, very good ones out there. But I forget about that, right? Like, I forget about how much I love the jump rope. I know it sounds childish, but like, you can get crazy results from just 5 minutes of jump rope. Heck, even 1 minute of jump rope. And we've all done it once in a lifetime, right? Like, we've done it once, at least once. So I mean, that's and right there, that was like literally for me. I could talk hours and hours and hours about jump rope. So maybe that's what I do. Maybe that's what I incorporate. Because living your passion, and like, I'm reading Gary Vaynerchuk's Crush It right now again, right? This is my second time through. And I feel like I'm way more ready than I was before when I read it. But I mean, it's not coming from a place of lack, like, oh my gosh, what did I miss the first time? Which, yes, that was my approach until Lisa brought that up for me. She was just like, no. Think of it as, what am I open to learning again, right? And I'm talking to myself. What am I open to learning again? Or what am I open to learning this time around from reading this book? And I've already, like, noticed, at least 10 things, and I'm like, whoa, okay, cool. So that's what it is like, the example that he gives in the book is a guy who loves to fish, but he knows a boatload about worms, right? So mine is, I love to work out. Well, I mean, let's go back to the worm analogy. So the guy loves to fish, but he knows a boatload about worms, and it's embarrassing for him on how much he knows about worms. And embarrassing not in a bad way, like, it's just he knows a lot about worms, right? Or for me, I love to work out, and I know a lot about jump ropes. Like, it's just funny that I could, if a person would say, you'd be embarrassed on how much you know about jump ropes. Not embarrassed in a bad way, to be like, oh, it's so embarrassing, like, I don't want to tell anybody that I jump rope, but I've done it for so long that I just know a lot about jump ropes, like, and that's what Crush It is all about, is essentially providing value to a market, like, especially jump rope. Jump rope is kind of a niche thing, right? Like, it's a very specific niche thing, but I can teach people to jump rope. Like, it's not hard. Nothing's hard. We make it our own problem to make it hard. So I think that's a lot of the physiology show is going to be like, hey, what is going on with this? Or current events are this? Or, like, I think that's what a lot of it's going to be. And I don't know, and I love that I don't know what it's going to be. But I just have this feeling that, once a week I can commit to that. I can do some things with it. Do I absolutely need all of the edits? Sorry, excuse me. Do I absolutely need all of the edits that I want in it? Maybe not, right? So maybe I could probably do it more than once a week. But for right now, I feel like once a week is doable, and I can commit to once a week. But who knows? Maybe it'll be more off the cuff. It'll be more whatever, right? Because at that point, I can do whatever I want with it. But I think the big difference is now knowing the value and how much fun it actually is to record, not necessarily, anywhere, right? Like from home, from wherever, but not in my car, right? I think that's the big thing with it. The big difference is it's not going to be in my car, because now I see the value, I find the value to not just strap a camera onto the center console and have everybody be in fear of, oh my gosh, I can't watch this because I don't know if he's going to run into somebody because he's watching the camera in the car. Not that I'm above it, right? Not that I'm outside of it. I just see it from a different lens now. Because if people record from their car all the time and you have to fit it in, and that's the grind. Like, that's the hustle that you need to do. And I was there. But as soon as you commit to it even more and get a higher level of understanding, and that's just a part of my narrative now, to say I started recording these shows in my car, and then it evolved to something more, something better, something different, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. So I think that's what it is. All of this stuff just comes from a place of inspiration nowadays versus a place of desperation before. Like, it was just create a piece of content, get it out there. Now it's, okay, this is who I am. This is my daily operation. This is what I do every day, no matter what. This is my bare minimum. And if there's anything that I can do to help you find your bare minimum, let me know. Like, literally, that's what it is. And then we go from there. And I think that's what it is. I think right there I just realized it. Like, my calling, my understanding is finding my bare minimum every day. What's my bare minimum? I'm not going to bed until what, right? And knowing that, and understanding that, and loving that, and accepting that. And that's what I do every day. Every day I work. Like, every day I love life, no matter what. Because first world problems aren't all that bad. We could have it way worse. Each and every one of us could have it way worse. The 22-day challenge right now is nuts, right? Like, this 22-day push-up challenge, 22 push-ups, which is awesome, right? I mean, it's amazing to know that all it takes is 22 push-ups to create awareness. That is so cool. Because on average, 22 veterans in America commit suicide. That's an average number. Sometimes lower, but really more times than that, I bet, it's probably higher. And we need, in any sacrifice that we can do, like, social media is the fastest way to increase awareness, to spread the word, right? It's the fastest way to do it. So anybody out there not supporting their troops is crap. Like, we can do 22 push-ups because they've done a hell of a lot more for us, and that's bigger than anything. They've done a hell of a lot more for us. So the sacrifice that it takes us to get 22 push-ups, whether that be push-ups on the floor, on our knees, on a chair, on a wall, doesn't matter. You're taking time out of your day to acknowledge their sacrifice. That's important. So there it is, talk therapy. As always, if you're willing to change from the neck up, you will change from the neck down. I believe in you. Now it's your turn to start believing in yourself. Stay safe out there. Be blessed. Bye for now.